Faculty, staff, students, and family that are present today. On behalf of the entire student body at the Florida State University, congratulations to the class of 2013. Today is a day that some of you have been thinking about since freshman orientation, so I'll be sure to keep my remarks brief. Needless to say, today marks a radical shift in your life. You will no longer be comforted by the familiarity of your surroundings, but rather challenged by the uncertainty that lies ahead. The real world, as they call it, is not an easy place for a recent graduate. No number of statistics could do justice to the anxiety that you may be feeling as you shift your tassel to the right and symbolically throw your cap in the air. But if there's one thing that I hope you'll remember when you walk across this stage today, it's the feeling that you experience when you walk across, and that's the feeling of success. It's knowing that the path wasn't easy, but the reward is so sweet. I challenge you to keep challenging yourself and don't ever settle for being comfortable. Take a risk, fall, get back up, and then figure out what you did wrong. That is what some would call staying hungry. The game changers and innovators of our generation are those that never feel satiated by their success. There's always something that you can be doing better. Figure that out and run with it, because Florida State has prepared you well. I hope today won't be the last time that you step foot on our campus. The place that you've called home will remain your home no matter the distance that separates you. Doak Campbell Stadium will still be there, waiting for you to fill its seats and give it life. The Westcott Fountain will still be flowing, waiting for you to wade in its waters one more time. And those Gothic spires that we know so well will still be here, waiting to welcome you with open arms. Thank you all so much for allowing me the privilege to represent you. I could not be prouder of the graduates in this room today, for I know that you all will continue changing the world. Of course, I wouldn't be doing our university justice if I didn't end by telling you all to go out, go achieve, go inspire, and go lead, but always go Noles. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. Now I have the pleasure of introducing our commencement speaker. Bob Rice is a leading voice in the investment world. You've heard his expertise on Bloomberg TV, Fox News, and other outlets, where Mr. Rice analyzes economic and technology trends, management shakeups in our most influential companies, and business strategies of the financial world's movers and shakers. He is co-founder and general managing partner of Tangent Capital, a merchant bank that provides financial and strategic services to middle market technology, media, telecommunications, and life sciences companies. We are proud to call Mr. Rice an alumnus. He graduated from Florida State in 1976 with a bachelor's degree in political science and earned a law degree here in 1979. Mr. Rice began his career as a trial lawyer in the U.S. Justice Department and later became a partner of Milbank, Tweed, Hadley, and McCloy, where his practice focused on new financial products. When he left the field of law in the late 90s, Mr. Rice founded a software and hardware technology venture that later merged with a public company. Mr. Rice became chairman and CEO of that company and set the stage for its subsequent sale. In 2003, he joined the New York Angels, a consortium of accredited investors. He has been an active investor and board member in numerous technology companies since then. Mr. Rice co-founded New York-based Tangent Capital in 2004. He serves on the boards of management firms with combined assets of more than $2 billion. He is also the author of the strategy book and blog, 3 Moves Ahead, and appears daily on Money Moves with Deirdre Bolton, a program on Bloomberg TV. Please join me in welcoming Bob Rice.
Thank you very much, Dr. Barron. I can't tell you how excited and pleased and humble I am to be able to present to you today. It's a great, great honor, and I certainly want to be among the first to extend my congratulations to the soon-to-be graduated class. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day of celebration, which you certainly richly deserve with your families and supporters and friends in the audience. What I want to talk to you about follows up a little bit on what you just heard a moment ago. You know, the world obviously is changing at a pace that we've never seen before, faster than ever. And we're in a period of global competition. I work with a lot of young people, and frequently they look at me, I'm an old guy, and they say, okay, well, what do you recommend? How can I build a life strategy? that will make me successful in that kind of environment? Well, I actually think I have a pretty good idea for you, and I want to explain it to you today. The idea was first articulated to me in kind of an odd situation by a Russian theoretical physicist, of all people. And I got to confess, when he first told me about it, I didn't really grasp the idea completely, but what he said to me was this, and this guy was super famous. He was the guy who solved two-dimensional quantum gravity theory for the first time. When he defected from Russia, he was on the front page of the New York Times. So he was kind of the elite of the elite. And when we sat down at lunch one day, he said to me something really interesting. He said, you know, Bob, what I see is that the discoveries that I make are never when I take one area of knowledge and push it a little bit farther. The big stuff that happens is when I'm the dot of glue that connects two different circles of knowledge together. Kind of like a Venn diagram, right? You know, the overlapping circles of the Venn diagram. The idea isn't to take one yellow circle and make it yellower a little bit, or a blue circle and make it bluer. The idea is to be the person who can be at the intersection of the Venn diagram and create this new color, green. That's where the real value gets created in the world. Now, at first, I confess I didn't think this was all that relevant to me, a non-genius. You know, it was kind of cool to hear about it. But as I've gotten older, I realized, in fact, this is the key strategy in this kind of a world in which we're living. That is, to continue to accumulate for yourself these various circles of knowledge which you can connect in promising new ways, providing tremendous value to society, and not just to society, to your organizations, to yourselves, to everyone. Let me give you a good example. I have a friend named Mishkin Ingawale, a young Indian man. Now, he brought three very interesting circles of knowledge together. One was color photography, one was a little bit of technology, and one was a little bit of medicine. Now, his big concern in life was that he'd come from a very rural area of India where people had zero access to health care. Millions and millions of people couldn't get basic screening for diagnostic tests that would tell them about chronic conditions that they had and needed to be treated. Usually these people didn't get treated until it was way too late. And he thought about this and he said, well, you know what? Today, even in the poorest village, there's usually a smartphone. And smartphones can take color pictures. And color is the secret to the second most useful diagnostic test we have, which is those urine strips, right? You dip them in, you pull them out, you look at the colors, and you see what the test has to say to you. And so he said, well, that means that somebody should be able, I can't, but somebody should be able to write an app where you could take a picture and have the app do the diagnosis right on the spot. And then tell the person, hey, you know what, somehow you're going to travel 200 miles and get to a doctor because you need to. And he did it. He did it. One major health organization estimates that this innovation is going to save 1 million lives over the next 5 years. But think about this. He wasn't a super genius. He didn't, make some amazing discovery in mathematics that nobody could ever. He simply connected some circles. But he had nice, diverse circles. Medicine, color photography. Those are the kinds of circles that you can keep accumulating yourselves. You must keep accumulating. You can't stop. Because you will have the opportunity to create tremendous value like that. And it goes beyond creating tremendous value, frankly. Let's be a little more pedestrian about careers. It also is the secret to seeing what people, many times you see a guy like me come up here and give a speech like this, and what will they say? They'll say, when you see a door of opportunity, charge through it. That's great. But here's the problem. Those doors of opportunity, they don't have like neon signs on them that say, door of opportunity, charge here. Indeed, because if they did, there'd be a line around the block, right? The thing that makes the door of opportunity a real door of opportunity is precisely that other people do not recognize it as such. Why don't they? Because they're one-dimensional. They see all those people see things in the same way. Well, you know what I'm going to say to you? If you've accumulated the right circles of knowledge or multiple circles of knowledge, you will have a unique perspective. You will see what other people don't see. You will see those opportunities, and you'll be able to seize them. And that, in a world of rapid change, is probably the most useful practical skill you can have going forward. And one last thing about those circles. They make you wise. Wise? You're young. Right, we think of wise people as old people, right? But why? Because they're older, they've accidentally accumulated numerous circles of knowledge, so they can take a piece of information, they can take knowledge and apply it. What is wisdom? Wisdom is knowledge in context. That's what wisdom is, knowledge in context. You can have that context. You don't have to wait to get old to accumulate that context. You can go out right now and fight to accumulate it, and that's what you need to do. You know, yesterday I went for a run on the campus, and I passed that great integration sculpture, which reminded me, you know, I was at the school right after the events that are memorialized in that sculpture took place. And I was profoundly proud, and still am, of this school's real diversity. A lot of schools in the South back in those days claimed to be diverse and weren't. Our school wasn't perfect by any means, but we were way ahead of the pack. And I was always proud of that. And between that and the fact that it was originally a women's college, and our fantastic relationship with the great and unconquered Seminole Nation, this really has become a real cradle. It is true in the Seminole Creed that diversity is a key element of the essence of this school. We all understand how diversity makes institutions stronger, right? Well, another way to look at what I've just been telling you is this. It makes individuals stronger too. You need to become more diverse. For the same reasons that it makes this institution great, it will make individuals great. So go and diversify yourself. And if you do that, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you that you will have the tools not just to survive in a world of rapid change and global competition, but to thrive in that world. And from the bottom of my heart, that is what I most dearly wish for you as graduates of the Florida State University. Thank you very much.
And now, for the main event, the conferral of academic degrees. I recognize Dr. Karen Laughlin, Dean of Undergraduate Studies, for the conferral of bachelor's degrees.